Hello everybody, Lotu for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new video. So, wow, we got a whole bunch of stuff announced, guys. The stuff for the 20th anniversary collector's edition thingy-majig has been revealed, or at least most of the cards from the looks of it. And oh my god, okay, so I know like most of these aren't even remotely competitively viable, but I'm so excited for these, okay? These are drawn by Kazuki Takahashi himself. These cards... Kazuki Takahashi doesn't draw cards very often anymore. I know that's probably a shock to a lot of you guys, but... or at least to probably some of you guys. I would hope a lot of you guys caught on to it. But... Takahashi, so he runs an art company, and that art company does the artwork for Yu-Gi-Oh! Among other things, and he takes credit for every bit of art that everybody that works under him does. This is something it's tradition, like a lot of artists did that, and he does it too. So even though like the Performer Pals, oh, it says it's from Kazuki Takahashi, but it's not. It's some guy that works for Kazuki Takahashi probably drew that. And you can always tell because Takahashi, at least nowadays, whenever he does draw something, he puts his signature on there. And he also has that very distinct style, that very old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Style that I honestly miss. Like, seeing these cards brings back childhood memories of seeing these just really cool, dark, twisted creatures out in these packs and everything, and it just makes me think of old school Yu-Gi-Oh! So much, and I really wish Takahashi would draw more cards. Like, oh my god, please, Takahashi, do more stuff. So, yeah. Oh god, I can't wait to talk about these. So, first and foremost, we got Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This is a card that we had teased to us about a month ago, and we are finally getting the full effect and everything. This is beautiful artwork. I love it, okay? It looks like, well, an alternative Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And it's so cool. It's so cool. So, it's a level 12 light dragon fusion effect monster. And it's 4,500, 3,800. You know, it's the same stats as Blue Eyes Ultimate. Just needs 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons to go into. This card on the field cannot be targeted by or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And then once per turn, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. And, well, if this card was fusion summoned using a monster whose original name was Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, you can target 2 or 3 cards instead. During the turn you activate this effect, this card cannot attack. So, I'm not going to lie, I'm very iffy on how I feel about this. You know, now we have 3 different versions of Blue Eyes Ultimate. We have Blue Eyes Ultimate, Blue Eyes Neo, and, of course, now Blue Eyes Ultimate Alternative. And all 3 have their pros and cons. The biggest thing that the original Blue Eyes Ultimate has going for them is the Neutron Blast spell card, which, if you guys haven't read what that does, basically, you target the original Blue Eyes Ultimate. He can attack 3 times that turn, and he has Armades. It is a stupid card, but it requires too much setup. Then you got Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate, who, I'm not going to lie, I really can't decide if I like this guy more or Neo more. This guy, Alternative, definitely has Neo beaten in terms of the art. He just looks 1,000 times cooler. But I think Neo has a slightly better effect. It's very situational. Very, very situational. Alternative can pop up to 3 cards. Neo can attack up to 3 times. And that's really cool, too. So, I don't know. It's a really tough decision. Which is better. If you're playing a Blue Eyes Fusion-oriented build, you're probably going to play at least one of this guy. I can't decide which I like more. Style points, though, Alternative definitely has Neo beaten. And then we got, oh god, probably like just by artwork alone, my favorite. Freaking Magician of Black Chaos Max. This thing is so cool. It almost looks like it's a Buster Blader, but it's not. It's a Magician of Chaos. So, it's a 2,800 attack, 2,600 defense, level 8 Dark Spellcaster Ritual Effect monster. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. You can only use its first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you contribute 1 monster you control. During this turn, your opponent cannot activate monster effects. This is a really scary effect on its own, just because that's anytime it is special summoned. So if you, for instance, ritual summon it using Urgent Ritual Art during your opponent's turn, you contribute something. like himself, for instance, and knock out your opponent's monster's effects for the remainder of the turn. That is scary. That is really good, and I get the feeling that somebody's going to abuse it out there. And then its second effect also is when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one spell card in your graveyard, add that card to your hand. This card is so good. It is so good. I think we had the Dark Magician ritual a little bit ago who can also use Chaos Form. That guy was just okay. This blows that out of the water. I love this card so much. The art, the effect, everything. It's such a good card. God, has that old school ritual feel to it. I love 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 it. Okay. And then we got Exodia, Master of the Guard. A reference both to Exod, Master of the Guard, and of course to Exodia being summoned. This thing has so many references to the original series, okay? I can't say it enough. I love these cards, okay? None of them are particularly competitively viable, but I don't care. For funsies and for nostalgia, they are so cool. So, Exodia, Master of the Guard. Level 10, Dark Spellcaster, Effect Monster, Attack, Defense, This card cannot be special summoned. If this card was normal summoned by the method of its first effect and battles a Dark Fiend type monster your opponent owns and destroys it, you win the duel. Okay, and then its first effect, you can tribute 5 monsters to tribute summon this card, but not set this card. So it does say you can, so I guess you could technically still tribute summon it using 2 if you absolutely need to, but obviously they really want you to summon it through 5 monsters being tributed. And this is a reference to how in the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi beats, whenever he beats Kaiba, he lays out all 5 pieces of Exodia on the duel table thingy so that Exodia is summoned. And then this card's attack and defense are equal to the total original attack and defense of the monsters tributed for this card's normal summon. This is a really, just that alone, even without the you win the duel effect, that alone is pretty scary. So if you summon him using the Exodia pieces, which if I remember right, I know the head has 1,000 attack, and then I believe each piece, I'm just gonna pull up YgoPro. I'm curious. I cannot remember how much attack each of the pieces of Exodia have. I mean, you'd be stupid to tribute all 5 pieces, but I'm curious. Come on, load. Come on, load YgoPro. Okay, so Forbidden 1. Okay, so they all have 200 attack. So that's that'd be 1,000 plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 1,800 attack. Yeah, definitely don't do that. But if you tribute, like, let's say just 5 2,000 attack point monsters, yeah, that's scary. You can one-shot your opponent even without the instant win condition. Now, that being said, the instant win condition is really cool too, because that's obviously a callback to Exodia himself. The fact that it has to battle a Dark Fiend that your opponent controls and owns, that's the big thing. That means that that's a reference to Zork Necrophades, and also, of course, the whole 5 pieces of Exodia thing referencing that. So, really, really cool card overall. I can't wait to see some of the gimmick decks that people are going to come up with to exploit this. Do note that the Dark Fiend that he battles to get the instant win effect has to be a card that your opponent owns and controls. That means that you cannot just give them the Dark Fiend Kaiju and then call it a day. No, that doesn't work. Because that's one that you own, but you gave to your opponent and they control it. They need to own it, which means if you're doing against Dark World, you're set. Now, there is a way to kind of get around this. If I believe, according to the rulings I've read so far, that if your opponent gets a token through Lair of Darkness, which is a Dark Fiend token, then your opponent technically controls and owns that token. So, because that wasn't your token at all. That was never your token. So, that would work. As far as I know. If that does not, please correct me in the comments down below. But that's, from everything I've read, that's what seems to work the best. Okay, moving on, we got number 1 waifu and probably my favorite card of the set, because of course. Palladium Oracle Mana. Adorable card art. I love it. She's got a new Kuribo. She's just adorable. I could not honestly care about the effect, but I love this artwork. And I can't wait to see how Konami's going to censor it. That's just, unless they don't release it at all over here, like they did with the Dark Magician Girl 10th anniversary art, which we don't have that at all, don't we? Yeah, we never got that over here. Because, God, if you don't get why, look up the artwork of that, and you'll get the joke like immediately. So, yeah. And we still don't have Magi Magician Gal either. God dang it, Konami. Release that over here. Don't censor cards anymore. Okay. Anyways, Palladium Oracle Mana. Level 6 Light Spellcaster Effect Monster. 2k attack, 1700 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, when exactly one spellcaster monster you control is targeted by your opponent's card effect, you can activate this effect, spell summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Level 7 or higher spellcaster monsters you control cannot be destroyed by effects. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can spell summon one Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So, this is a pretty good card for Dark Magicians, in all honesty. The first effect is pretty nice and nifty. It won't come up too often, but however, that does come up every now and again, and it does protect your Dark Magician from, well, being targeted. Well, it doesn't actually. It just summons her for free, but you know what I mean. So then, level 7 or higher spellcaster monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. That is really, really good, because one of the biggest issues with Dark Magician is that the Eternal Soul, the trap card deck, it very much is the heart and soul of the deck. If that thing just poofs away, destroyed, I believe it also triggers if it's banished or anything, leaves the field, bang, everything on your field goes away. Now, this will protect your Dark Magicians, and then since she will be destroyed, instead, you can then summon out a Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or grave. My only real issue with Mana is that she doesn't negate the targeting effect of the card that, well, targeted your dude to summon her, and then also she doesn't treat herself as Dark Magician Girl. This is another issue that I have with Apprentice Illusion Magician, where they don't treat themselves as Dark Magician Girl despite being clear and obvious retrains of her. Okay, as much as I love the original DMG, she is terrible nowadays. The only effect she has is gain 300 attack for every Dark Magician in a graveyard and Magician of Black Chaos. Cool! She sucks in her own archetype, the Magician Girls, and she sucks in the archetype she's supposed to support, which is, of course, Dark Magician. So, god dang it, Konami, give us a retrain of Dark Magician Girl that treats herself as Dark Magician. And, you know, I'm probably going to make this the thumbnail, because I just love her so much. I love her. Okay. Then we got the card that everybody's just kind of complaining about, and I can see totally why. Okay, this is Red Eye's Alternative Dragon. Beautiful artwork. I love this. I know a lot of people are complaining that it doesn't look like Red Eye's, like the head doesn't or anything. I mean, it does. You can see where the horns are coming out and it's still triangular shaped. Honestly, he looks more like Kuromu Dragon, I think, or however you pronounce that. What's that name? The head, honestly, so like with Red Eye, see, you can see the horns and everything. But honestly, to me, it looks more like, dang it. What? Komori Dragon, that's his name. I loved this card as a kid. Can you see the resemblance in the head? Oh, God. I just random thing that just I love that card as a kid. So, we got Red Eye's Alternative Black Dragon. Level 7 Dark Dragon Special Summon Effect Monster. If you don't know, Japan specifies if a monster has to be special summoned. Anyway, so 2400 attack, 2k defense, cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing one Red Eyes monster from your hand or field. You can only special summon Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle or in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target one level 7 or lower Red Eyes in your graveyard, except himself. Special summon that target, and if it is a Red Eyes Black Dragon, its original attack becomes doubled. So, this card, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit mixed on. I like the concept of it. I like how you can dump stuff in your graveyard through its own summoning thing. I know there are some people like, oh, why does it just have to reveal? Okay, well, here's the thing, though. Red Eyes does not have as nearly as many ways to get both dragons to your hand as easy. So the fact that all you have to do is tribute another dragon to summon him. And also, Red Eyes, believe it or not, is even more graveyard intensive than Blue Eyes, okay? It's coming from somebody who has played the deck a lot. They have a crap ton of revival spells and traps. Actually, it's mostly traps. And all that stuff. So you generally want your dragons in the graveyard as much as possible, and this helps you get them to it. Not to mention, a lot of the stuff has graveyard effects and all the other things. so I'm not too concerned with how you summon it. My biggest issue is that this card does literally nothing on the field. It does literally nothing. It doesn't do a freaking thing. And it just waits to be destroyed, and then it's a monster reborn. Cool. That's it. It is another monster that you can summon relatively easy without like really having to worry about breaking your hand. But that's all it has really going for it. The revival effect is nice and all, but it just doesn't have much going for it, really. I think Red Eyes will still play it at like 1 or 2, but I don't think it's going to be like super, super crazy. Also, just noticed the tail looks an awful lot like that one Dinosaur Rex Raptor played, which might be a nice little homage to Rex Raptor. What was that one thing's name? I cannot remember. I am curious. Normal type, dinosaur. There we go. It's like a level 7. There we go. Sword Arm of Dragon. Yeah. The tail looks so similar to me. I don't know. I love all these little callbacks and Easter eggs that Takahashi does in the artworks and stuff. Like you can see like some that almost looks like the Millennium Object. Just oh god. I want to know what this cute little Karibo thing does. Moving on before I just oh god. So we got Neo Kaiser Glider, which alongside the new Dark Magician, the new Magician of Black Chaos and Alternative Dragon, might very well be the best card in this. By the way, is it just me or does it look like it's something straight out of Evangelion? The color scheme and the, like just typing and everything. It's a dragon too. Looks nothing like the original Kaiser Glider, but hey, I ain't complaining. 2400 attack, 2200 defense, light dragon. Looks like a machine, but whatever. Yeah, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can discard this card and another monster from your hand and target one dragon normal monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. All monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack until the end of this turn. Pretty simple effects. It's a revival effect for Blue Eyes, obviously. It can also be used with Red Eyes, too. I think both decks probably will end up playing a couple copies of this, possibly. The big thing is that it does require a discard, but however, both decks do, of course, have ways of maximizing on that. Like, you can discard this card in a White Stone of Legend, or discard in a Red Stone of Dragon, or whatever it's called. Red Stone of Legend, Black Stone of Legend, can't remember. So that then you can just use their graveyard effects. So I do see this card actually having some potential viability in those two archetypes in particular. I'm sure there's some other decks out there that could possibly use it as well, but Red Eyes and Blue Eyes are the two main decks that I see using it. And then we got, so Konami did say that in this particular set there would also be some remaining movie cards that haven't been printed. And the first one revealed is Multithick Divide, also called Sin Cross. Oh god, this card. Oh god. Malefics need a lot of stuff, okay? Personally, I still say that Malefics need like a continuous trap card or something that says ignore everything that make Malefics unique. Get rid of the only that monster can attack and they can't attack directly, and that you can only control one. Just make a card that says ignore those three. Oh god, I digress. Anyway, so Malefic Divide, quick play spell card. You can target one Malefic monster in your graveyard, spell summon that monster, ignoring the summoning conditions, but its effects are negated, and it is banished during the end phase. I believe that since its effects are negated, you also don't have to worry about it self-destructing due to no field spell, but I believe that's a condition. I just remember that, Skill Drain used to negate that, so I don't know. Anyways, Malefic Divide is a pretty cool quick play spell card. It's more Malefic support. That's all it really is. It's a monster reborn for Malefics. And unfortunately, Malefics don't really have much going for them right now. They need more stuff, really. And a quick play revival spell is not what they needed. I know that, Paradox played it in the anime and everything. But, the deck really does need more than just a revival spell. It needs a lot more. Ways of just ignoring their whole point and gimmicks and stuff. Of course, who else from the God Complex? That's funny. And then we got the card that, other than the Dark Magician Girl retrain, I am most excited for. Cubic Omen. Okay, so as you guys know, I love cubics. I played them a lot. They're one of my favorite semi-competitive rogue decks. And I still haven't seen Dark Side of Dimensions. I really haven't. It just dawned on me. Anyway, so Cubic Omen, normal trap card. God, this looks so cool. So, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. I can't remember what this does. Place a number of cubic counters up to the number of cubic monsters you control on face-up monsters your opponent controls. A monster with a cubic counter on it cannot attack and its effects are negated. So this really does help out with the first play style of the deck. Cubics have two different play styles. They have the control aspect and then they have the OTK aspect. The OTK aspect is objectively better and more consistent, but the control aspect is still a big portion of the deck. So I can still see this being played with that, especially considering that this thing does have a really good graveyard effect. You can banish this card from the graveyard and target one cubic monster you control. During this turn, each time that monster you control destroys a monster that has a cubic counter on it by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the destroyed monster. So, yeah, this card is stupid. I love it. It's one of the few cubic cards to have a once per turn clause on it, and for very good reason. The first effect, obviously, is the weaker of the two, but it combos perfectly into the second effect, especially seeing as how the deck doesn't have a lot of good ways of getting cubic counters out and around, with the exception of the cubic wave graveyard effect. So this is nice for having another pretty decent way of spreading counters. And then, of course, the big burn damage thing. Cubics love their burn damage, and they love running over your opponent's monsters. So this card does greatly help out with that. I love it. I love it. Konami, please give us more cubic stuff. So, that is everything that we have here. I love, everything from this. All the artwork, all the cards, even the bad ones. I don't care. I love it all. It's so cool. Is there anything that, is going to have a competitive thing to it? No. I know that's, one of the big things that people are complaining about is that, oh, these cards aren't competitive. Well, I don't think they are supposed to be. These are the cards being made in celebration of the game's 20th anniversary. And, with the 10th anniversary, we got mostly new artworks of classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards, And those are cool and all, but these are brand new cards made to help out and support those older ones. And, say what you will about the actual competitive viability of it, I think that these are really made for the fans to have fun with, as you guys may know, Takahashi's not a big fan of super competitive stuff, so, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think of all this new stuff? I love it. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. It was your birthday. Happy birthday. See y'all later. Peace out.